I met our next performer back in 2011 at a writing salon at the writer Daphne Gottlieb's house in San Francisco. We all went around reading our work, and when she read her section, I was just like, so jealous. Meet a writer, you're like, goddammit, you're so talented. Super jealous. She went on to become a good friend, runs one of the most amazing literary series in San Francisco called Writers with Drinks, is the co-host of the podcast Our Opinions Are Correct, and is the author of the incredible book All the Birds in the Sky and The City in the Middle of the Night. Please, warm round of applause for Charlie J. Miller.
So I'm going to read a little short piece. It's kind of a trans fairy tale. Kate walks her creaky old 5-speed bicycle up the fumbly narrow path on the steep grade of Toothache Hill. At the top, she says the words you're supposed to say, which are kind of nonsense, and they're somewhere between a prayer and a petition and an invocation that will make the Visitmothers show up. Nothing happens, except that the wind gets colder and 2 middle-aged people give up on foraging for stray Pokemon and trudge down into the curvy, crinkly streets of the city. Kate hugs herself and fidgets and says the whole spiel again, trying not to shiver or bite into the words. The sun goes down. Kate fumbles in the old knapsack bungee corded to the back of her bicycle for her hoodie, which almost reaches bathrobe levels of comfort despite being old enough that the logo on the breast is illegible. A smattering of stars start showing through the city light pollution. The bike wobbles in the freezing wind, so Kate leans it more carefully against a rock. This Raleigh 5-speed chopper has been Kate's constant companion since her 16th birthday, and she's used to seeing the world from atop its seat. She has decorated its spokes with rainbow colors, and streamers come out of its handlebars, and the seat is covered with a leopard print fabric. Kate is going to have a scary ride home on these streets. City darkness, but still darkness. She should leave right now, but she's come all this way. She memorized the words, psyched herself up. She doesn't want to go home with nothing. Not because of her iron willpower or determination or whatever, but because she cannot imagine what she will do if this doesn't work. She doesn't have any backup plan. So, she sits on the crest of Toothache Hill, checking the time on her phone constantly until she risks draining the battery. She sings the entire Purple Rain album from memory. The shouts of drunk people fill the streets and then die down. Finally, somewhere between 1 and 2 in the morning, a darkness gathers at the top of Toothache Hill. Not the dark of night, but more like a blindfold made out of velvet. Kate's heart amps up. The city mothers have arrived. The Visitmothers have arrived. It's just like everybody says in the stories Kate has heard late at night after too many drinks at the 2 Queer Karaoke night, or on certain message boards. 4 Visitmothers descend from the sky, but they also seem to glide sideways as if they were on a conveyor belt coming from someplace off to the side of the hill. They each flex 5 wings, or perhaps their legs, or beaks, or something else, from their slender, concave bodies. And sometimes the folds and creases on their bodies appear like faces. Periodola, probably. "You brought us to visit you," says the Visitmother closest to Kate. "You wish us to visit change upon you, to answer a question or to predict. These are the 3 visitations that humans desire. Which?" The Visitmothers have been appearing for a couple of years now, and they've taught a few people the words that would invite them to appear at high up, isolated places. They only answer the occasional invitation, and you have to be very careful what you ask them, or what you ask them for. They're fairies, or aliens, or alien fairies. Nobody really knows, but they know secrets and their predictions come true, and if you go with them, they will change you according to your desires. But you have to ask with precision, because they sometimes misunderstand the speech of humans. Kate hesitates. Now that it's real, she can't even make a sound. Then she gathers her breath and blurts out words that she didn't practice nearly as much as that invocation. I want to be changed, she says. I feel so alone. I can't afford facial feminization surgery or any of the other things I need, and I never have anyone around who sees me for my true self. I want to be reshaped, transformed. Give me wings and lasers. Give me extra knowledge or understanding or cleverness. Make me so beautiful that people have to catch their breath. Then Kate just shakes her head and speaks from her heart. The real truth is, I just don't want to be alone anymore. That's all I really want. Everything else is just a means to an end. Speaking the truth feels too heavy to brace against, but a moment later she feels light and kind of empty and cold again. The Visitmothers seem to discuss among themselves for a moment. As you ask, it shall be done, the one in front says. Wings/legs/beaks, flexing and bobbing. And then, the Visitmothers gently take hold of Kate's wobbly old Raleigh 5-speed bicycle and pull it inside their black velvet interspace. Kate's knapsack tumbles onto the rocky grass. A moment later, the Visitmothers and Kate's bicycle are gone. Kate is left alone at the top of Toothache Hill, cursing herself and the Visitmothers, mostly herself though. She worked so hard, she prepared, she coached herself. She studied other people's accounts of their own visits, and then she screwed up. They didn't understand. She spoke from her heart, she's sure about that, but not clear enough. She had one chance to make everything different, and now she's alone as she ever was, except that now she's lost the one thing that always kept her company. Long walk home, cold, gross streets, sloping upward and downward. Kate starts to wheeze, which gets in the way of blaming herself in a trudgy undertone. When Kate gets home, she can't sleep for crying. At least tomorrow is Sunday, so she doesn't have to go to work. She sits on her futon and hugs herself and keeps pouring hot water onto the same orange spiced tea bag over and over until it just tastes like slightly bitter hot water. She glances at the mirror and remembers the 3 people in the past month who told her that she was beautiful. Luke, Clarissa, Boz. She wishes she could believe them. She wishes she didn't feel so alone. Kate finally sets down a lukewarm mug and falls asleep. Her dreams suck, but she doesn't remember them. She's awoken by a tapping on her apartment door, not like a person knocking, but like a backbeat, pounding over and over at slightly syncopated intervals. She goes to the door and doesn't see anything through the fisheye. She's about to go back to bed, but the tapping keeps going. At last, Kate opens her door, and it's her bike. Sort of. Her bike has wings and lasers. And it's so beautiful she can't even breathe for a moment. And then once she can breathe, she can't see because tears are stinging her eyes. She tries to speak and she can't. Her bicycle speaks instead. Hey, I'm back, it says. I'm still the same bicycle that carried you everywhere your whole adult life, except now I can fly. Oh, and I understand the deep workings of the world. Thank you for doing this for me. Thank you. I have all these thoughts going through my head, and it's amazing. Yesterday, I didn't even have any thoughts at all, or even a head for that matter. There's so much I want to tell you about, but it'll take the rest of our lives to explain all of it. For now, I just want to feel your strong legs moving my pedals again. So Kate climbs on her bike, still pouring tears, and the 2 of them race down the stairs of her apartment building, half rolling and half flying. Once they get outside, the bike flaps its wings. She's gonna have to figure out what pronoun the bike prefers. And they take to the air. A moment later, they're soaring over the rooftops as the city wakes up underneath them. They race away from the city, over the river, the mountains, and the irregular polygons of farmland. The whole time, Kate's bicycle is whispering to her things from her childhood that never made sense to her before, and the hiding places of love letters that people hid 100 years ago. You need a name, Kate says. What do you want to be called? I'm so new. I've only had words for a short time. Can you choose a name for me for now? I can always change it later. Kate thinks for a moment and decides that her bicycle will be called Brave. The most important thing you need to remember always, Brave says, is that I can see you for your true self, and I'll always remind you. And I promise you'll never be alone again. They fly so far and so fast that the sun keeps rising over and over.